Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to the channel as we're going to discuss the Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th, 2025. That's a Monday at 12:55 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure and adjust for your location. The Scorpio full moon is occurring at 22 degrees of Scorpio, 12 minutes in your chart. You would identify where this degree point is for you based on the house that it's in. You can see in this example chart that it is in the third house. You do not need to have a planet or point around 22 degrees of Scorpio to be feeling the full moon energies. Instead, you're looking at the house placement for matters and themes of that house to be illuminated. Now in Scorpio, we connect to more of our depths, psychological makeup, our intense feelings, and what's underneath the surface. Scorpio is about how we transform powerfully what we are sensing and feeling, and how we understand what it means to be an alchemist in our lives. Now, during the Scorpio full moon, there can be a matter that you need to face. It is coming up as perhaps a fear, an intense emotion, a shadow energy, and chances are you've already been working on it. The full moon at 22 degrees means that it's occurring at the third decan of the astrology sign. So you've already been aware of it, and now it arises and comes to a head since this full moon is opposing the earth energy here of Taurus. I will touch on that in just a moment. But what is coming up for us to look at is maybe something you've already been moving through that actually started with the first Mars-Pluto opposition back in early November. And that's because Scorpio is ruled by both Mars and Pluto energies. And we've just had their third and final opposition that was intense, triggering around a matter that maybe you felt powerless around, confused, the intensity, the back and forth, something that was challenging you personally and required some kind of ego breakdown because the Plutonic energy was stronger, is meant to be stronger as it's holding your higher frequency in elevation and evolution at this time. And so now this Scorpio full moon is bringing to your conscious awareness what you need to face and where your power is rising. I'm also feeling like this particular Scorpio full moon is bringing up some kind of death in your own consciousness. Scorpio ultimately takes us on a rebirth. And that means something needs to end and be complete. There could be a turning point here that, again, you've already been working through because of the intensity from the Mars-Pluto opposition, but something is recalibrating in the emotional body. There is a new understanding of your own empowerment and what has had to change at a personal level. I'm feeling too like this Scorpio energy, because it runs deep, you might be feeling the effects of it across multiple lifetimes. And you might be sensing that you've been moving through a much bigger story or energy field than what you first thought. And I feel that we're being set here on a new emotional trajectory from the Scorpio full moon that is also needing us to be very honest with ourselves around what we are complete with. In order to honor your own rebirth, in order to move forward and go ahead, what is dead to you, closing out for you, finalizing at an emotional level, and you're seeing it now perhaps in a new light or in a different light. The Scorpio energy, not only does it run deep, it's the investigator. There are obsessive energies here, addictions. This is where it's hard to let something go, and so it dies. And it's the death that actually is the catalyst to move you forward and move you on. And you could be seeing something in yourself or in an area of your life that is no longer in alignment with what you want, who you are, with your own frequency, as you are emotionally moving through maybe a dark night of the soul or some depths of yourself that are beautifully right on time. And again, they could have been triggered through that Mars-Pluto opposition that was forcing you to see something, see and feel a truth that maybe you've pushed away, didn't want to experience or look at. But the full moon requires us to see what's been under the surface, to own it, to claim it, and then to be very honest with yourself around how you're going to powerfully work with it. Now, this particular full moon with the sun at 22 degrees of Taurus is approaching the conjunction, exact conjunction here, to Uranus at 26:59 minutes of Taurus, so basically 27 degrees of Taurus, and the conjunction is going to happen 5 days after the Scorpio full moon. Now, this is surprises, shocking developments, unexpected, even fast-moving dynamics unfold. So after the Scorpio full moon, there are revelations here that come about that could shift an area of your life. And I'm seeing it as this reverberation where something is coming up in your personal emotional field and it's powerfully changing you, which then has effects that ping back here to what you're doing in your life, what you are moving through and building. Taurus is what's above ground, what we see and tap into with our 5 senses. And once a year, the sun is conjunct Uranus since 2018, shaking up our comfort zones and asking us to look at the bigger picture of what needs to change. And I feel it's coming from the emotional body, and it's giving you some clear messages of what you're ready for next. Uranus wants us to move forward. It's time to change a chapter. New choices, new potentials are at hand. And also, this is the last time the sun is going to be conjunct Uranus for 84 years. And that's because Uranus will be in Gemini next Taurus season. Uranus will move into Gemini in April 2026 and stay there. So there's something here about final changes that you're aware of and maybe resisting or putting off. This is a push comes to shove, and you're going to perhaps feel it's time to move ahead. It's time to make new choices that will shift your real world. I'm getting the visual of the roots in a tree and being uprooted. And the energy is meant to destabilize so that there can be new frequencies and new codes planted. So this is a full moon that is bringing you into more of the truth of what you desire and what you're feeling, which does shake up a part of your life for the better. Even I feel this has already been in motion because Uranus was already here at 26 and 27 degrees of Taurus since last year. So the middle of 2024 is when the energy was starting to shake and rumble And now here, there could be a sense of, I want this, I'm going for this matters to me. This is the energy of the Taurus values, what you want in your life, where there is a sense of, this is a part of how I want to have my experiences of the human journey. And there could be a deeper knowingness now that you're ready for the changes that have been in your conscious or even unconscious awareness since last year. Now, both the sun, Uranus, and the moon are all working favorably here with Saturn and the North Node in the late degrees of Pisces. Signaling endings are happening. This is a time of closing out chapters, being aware of what you no longer need to take forward. That North Node in Pisces welcomes in the release and the change. There could be something you're sensing, yeah, this is my last time doing this, or I'm moving on, I'm ready for the next version of my life. I'm complete here with parts of my experience that have served a purpose. I've learned, I've grown. I move forward with greater peace in my heart. And I feel too like there could even be a deeper self-compassion and self-acceptance that you're traveling with, that is quiet and internal. It's a part of yourself that is even unspoken. But this particular full moon has the support of those new dreams that are forming and are coming together behind the veil and in the unseen, but you're feeling it. And Saturn, being the timekeeper, is always about the correct timing. Saturn has been in the sextile to Uranus throughout April, and there's a steadiness here. It's almost like a steady, intuitive guidance that this moon, the full moon, is also feeling and is ready for the change. And this is actually quite fascinating, since Scorpio and Taurus are fixed signs and they only want change when they choose it. I want this or I don't want this. And now there's probably a rising understanding here of, I'm ready to choose it. I'm ready to move on. And I don't know what it looks like or how it's going to all come together, because those Pisces energies are not concerned with the details or the practical issues. But as the sun is conjunct Uranus in the earth sign of Taurus, I feel like there's a part of you that knows it will just come together. It will happen. Something is going to line up here. And I'm still feeling like this has miracle energy in it, that part of what we're meant to be embodying is more of our own miracle codes, which connects us to our ability to create the life we want, even in various situations and circumstances that might seem limiting at times. I think there is a growing emotional awareness around what you're complete with, and you're sensing the energy is coming together that you can't see, but you'll know when. It's like when to say yes might surprise you, or what shows up could be unexpected, but then you energetically feel the alignment. You energetically feel the alignment. Now, another important part of the story here is that this North Node at 24 Pisces has a square from Jupiter at 23 Gemini. The square will continue through the middle of May. The square, Jupiter's bringing up choices in Gemini. Gemini is the twins, it's duality. It's how we can have both sides of our brain thinking and analyzing something, right? Left brain, right brain. What do I choose? What do I do? What am I thinking? How do I bring it all together? And there are going to be some choices here, and I feel Jupiter wants you to choose the higher choice, the road less traveled, the new adventure of that North Node in Pisces that your intuition is feeling and picking up on. And there could be a lightness to it. And again, I'm feeling this physically, like you just can feel like your energy opens up. I'm seeing the openings go through the heart chakra, throat, third eye, crown chakra, like the energy goes up and elevates you with this new direction, choice, possibility that's forming. Saturn has questions, of course, but there's a sense of, no, I feel that this is the direction. Also important to note that the planets here in Pisces are ruled by Neptune in new territory of Aries, new beginnings. So you're sensing the new dream is arising, and there's going to be choice points. With Gemini, it's usually 2 choices, where you have to say yes twice, or you have to make the same choice a few times, almost as if it brings you greater clarity. Like you make the choice mentally and then you have to say it verbally. There's part of that energy of Gemini. And then it expands you. And this Jupiter was a traditional ruler of Pisces. So Jupiter actually is directing you here towards the Pisces areas of your chart to move into for new growth, development, wisdom, to go with the unknown and to trust that there's an adventure lining up that is for your soul's best and highest growth. And then conversely, it's not shown on this chart, but the South Node would be at 24 degrees of Virgo, and it's connected to your responsibilities, your tasks, what you've done so far that you've earned along the way, where you have shown up to improve yourself. There is the energy here of what you've had to organize, manage, handle, take care of. Great responsibility with this South Node in Virgo. And the square from Jupiter in this Gemini is also bringing up the mental energies of Gemini and Virgo. And you're going to feel mentally heavy, worn down, and fatigue if it's the lesser, lower choice. I'm feeling the weight of obligation. And that could be part of what you're feeling here through the middle of May. Like, should I allow myself to go forward into a new chapter and a new part of my life that I'm emotionally feeling? It's going to change my reality. It's going to shift up some things I've been maybe building or doing or working with. That Taurus energy is very dedicated. It understands, I'm putting effort into this now so that it pays off. And you could have a sense of, but I'm ready for the next version of my own reality. And my mind is going in all these directions around it because there's a lot to figure out in the details. Jupiter in Gemini brings up a lot that doesn't allow the mind to rest. You could have anxiety about things you're deciding. You are overthinking it. It's keeping you awake at night. It's keeping you up and you're like, how do I remedy this? What do I choose? How do I calm it down? And I feel that part of the guidance for this particular full moon is that you own your own transformation and the new aspects of yourself that you're becoming with a willingness to do things differently or to approach a matter in a new, higher way. And I'm feeling like it's time to set yourself free from a chapter that's closing out. Saturn moves into Aries on May 24th. And so this full moon trining that Saturn is saying it's time to move on. It's time to move on into new territory, to take that road less traveled, to enter into a new chapter. And there could be some definite emotional intensities around the endings. there can be a lot to process and that you're sensing and moving through. But this particular Scorpio full moon is highlighting what is ending for you and to trust your intuition around it. Every year, the Scorpio full moon is also connected to the Wesak festival, which is a celebration of Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death. And so that also holds great archetypal significance here for where you are now enlightened around what matters to you on your journey, what you value, what your priorities are, and the changes that you're ready to make and move through in order to set yourself free from what has been. We also have throughout May Venus in Aries, trining Mars in Leo. This is great for the alignment of feminine and masculine energies moving forward, having fresh energy after the retrogrades, now back in fire signs, which is about the courage to move towards what you want, being clear on who you are, and being willing to take the necessary steps forward with confidence and a deeper connection to your own spiritual path. Mercury in Taurus is squaring this Pluto retrograde at 3 degrees of Aquarius, and this can lock up the mind, lock up the internal thought patterns, and actually have you doubting yourself, doubting what steps to take, doubting the plan, questioning, is it worth it? How much do I want it? What's it going to cost me? So there is a lot of mental energy being revved up here during the Scorpio full moon. But again, the heavier focus is on quieting the mind and tapping into your own emotional frequencies. Because of these outer planets too, that are signaling it's time to move forward. The new potentials and the new dreams are here. And it's okay if your mind is struggling with it. And that again is part of this Jupiter and Gemini squaring the nodes of fate. And this Jupiter and Gemini being ruled by Mercury in Taurus squaring Pluto. So it could feel like, is it just a dream? Can it really happen? Or understanding it's part of a planning phase where if you're planning something you want, let's say later this year or this summer, if you're planning or trying to decide, figure out something, the Mercury in Taurus looks for concrete evidence, facts, wants to know what's involved. I think this is part of an interesting evolutionary phase of allowing the mind to bring you information, but to not dial down what you're feeling, and to trust that what you're feeling is meant to guide you forward at this time. And it's powerful because that Scorpio energy is intense. It's a force. And you might feel there's a deeper psychological force that you can't quite name and you can't quite put your finger on that's moving you ahead. And I would say that's part of the middle of May here, is that there will be shocking revelations, surprises, and developments. People will be making new choices, hopefully the higher choice, the higher path that allows you to trust your intuition more and can also relieve you of too much mental fatigue or too much processing that's easy to get lost in. So it's quite the Scorpio full moon in the middle of May here. And as always, I hope this resonates. I hope this connects with you and anything you are feeling and sensing. Again, after the Pluto-Mars opposition, it's time to make changes. It's time. And there's less delay here. There's now a sense of, okay, this is where I want to go. This is the path I'm going to commit to. That's part of Saturn conjunct the North Node. Committing to a uplifting path here that allows you to move ahead and to really trust. To trust your own, it's not just intuition. I keep feeling it physically, like it's a new physical embodiment of frequencies that you're just in, or you're sensing, or you're alive with. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this video. At the end of May, we will be discussing a very energetic Gemini new moon. Wow, we've got an amazing Gemini new moon coming up. So that will be on May 27th. I'll have that video out for you shortly. But just know that we're entering into new territory. So what needs to be closed out here so that you can move into these new frequencies that are coming through in 2025. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you need greater assistance working with the nodes of fate, by the way, that North Node in Pisces, that South Node in Virgo, if that's a big part of your journey at this time, I have a program for you that is affordable and deep. It is deep. It goes into a lot of specifics here of that North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo, so that you can understand what you're karmically done with, what needs to change in order to connect you with the new opportunities that are showing up. So I'll put the link below this video, but just know that the nodes of fate are quite active here during this particular Scorpio full moon. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back here soon as we continue through these 2025 energies together.